the great lock-in of 2025. The irony of Gen Z using social media to create trends in order to focus, it kind of makes me laugh. But this time, I'm taking it seriously.
You can take a break. You can even have a life. The trick is to not overdo it. These extreme resets, as we all know, are completely unsustainable. Balance is key.
So I don't know if you guys noticed, but I've been dropping videos daily. And, I've been going live prior to this, talking to you guys, trying to figure out where your guys' head is and check out the engagement. I've been dropping videos for a year, trying to strategize and figure it all out. And at a certain point, I was just like, you know what? I give up. YouTube is impossible to figure out. And maybe the only way to really know what I need to know is to lock in. No announcement, no fanfare. It's just, this is what I need to know for me. I need to know if I'm on the right track. And I need to get more data. And the best way to do it is to just drop videos and get data faster. Now, interestingly enough, I dropped a video yesterday, and it's doing pretty well. It's actually doing better than most videos I've dropped over the last 2 months. And this is where we are with our first hiccup. Like, wow, do I not drop a video this morning because it's going to kill the momentum from the last one? Or do I just drop because I said I was going to drop daily? In this age of information, I think that we tend to want more. We always want more information. We always hesitate a little bit because we're like, well, let me see what this expert says, and let's see what that book says, and let's see what this guru is talking about. And there's a lot of opinions, but you can't trust what other people say because, what's for them is for them, and what's for you is for you. This period for me is about figuring out what works for me, and to honestly just stop avoiding the work. See, I bought all these tools, camera, new computer. And the thing about doing all that research I was working on kind of makes those things useless, right? If I do all this data mining, I'm not using my camera. If I'm doing all this research, I'm not using my computer. There's only one way. It's time to lock in. So over the last month or so, you guys have been seeing me talk a lot about processes, and it has been in preparation for this. This was a hypothesis that I had a bit ago, and I knew there was only one way to really figure it out. So I was like, you got to be ready. I kind of built up a little bit of archive. I'm like 4 days ahead of you guys, something like that, to give me time, a little off time built in. And, the pressure's still on because even though it's 4 days, that 4 days goes real quick. If I end up working, that throws me off completely. It's just right now I'm not. And, I got the computer. There's no reason for me not to try to put a little bit into it. And I keep saying, I feel like I have the capacity to do it. But the process is what it's really going to take. And the only way for me to really build those processes is to put myself under the fire. So I'm making it happen. This morning, I'm just taking stuff out of the refrigerator because I've already pre-made breakfast. I wake him up at 6:15. He has to leave at 8:15. So there's technically about an hour in between there where I can go back to me time and get to editing. So let me put this all together, and then I'll see you guys back at the edit bay. These last 120 days won't be easy. Inevitably, you'll get sick or suffer from seasonal depression, so put in the extra hours when you can. My mentor always tells me, the wind will find its way in. So build your walls and protect your flame. Stories versus moments. So up until now, I've been doing one long form video a week, maybe 15 to 25 minutes. I go in depth on a subject, and I've really enjoyed making those projects. The problem is it's not giving YouTube enough data about my audience. And the only way I can really switch that up is to put out more. So rather than focusing on these longer form stories, I'm switching to a format where I talk about moments. Let me illustrate. Now you guys have seen the whole 3x structure deal, but inside of a typical 3x structure, which is something like this, I usually do something like this. We go up, then we have something coming that pulls us back. And then we go up, then something else pulls us back. And then we go up, then something pulls you back. And then we go up, and then we have a resolution. Inside of a story, each one of these sections can represent anywhere from, I don't know. We'll call that 6 minutes. We'll call this 3 minutes. This piece right here again is another 4 minutes. Call that 2 minutes. These are individual moments that could have been full stories. So with the new framework, we're not gonna bother. I don't know if that's 2 minutes. I don't know if it's 4. I don't know if it's 8. I don't know if it's 12. And part of all of this is data. I'm just trying to figure out, like, yeah, people say you shouldn't make videos less than 8 to 12 minutes. But at the same time, I've had successes with videos that have been 5 minutes. And honestly, since I'm planning on putting out so much data, I'm not really focused on what's what. I really do not care. The main thing is to just give YouTube more data about who you are. Not in a big tech overlord kind of way, just more in a what you like to watch versus what you watch after you watch my stuff. Because, you know, the different data points that YouTube is using are based off of audience behavior. That's why I decided to do this. I decided to just commit, lock in, and just throw up videos. So that's why some of them are super short. Some of them are a little bit longer. And for me, the key component has simply been create every day. Otherwise, that little buffer that I've created is going to be depleted. And then I'm going to be making excuses about why I'm not uploading. So I'm about 3 hours into this edit. And I think this is a good stopping point because I just got an email from my creative partner. They want me to take a look at this revision. I think this is a good time to talk about community. You know, the reason why I typically, you know, just dismiss a lot of these viral trends to, you know, get your life together is because I think they're rooted in this toxic idea that you need to isolate yourself. I'm sure you guys have heard about, you know, going ghost. The idea of isolating yourself as though people are distractions is kind of silly to me. All of my greatest motivators are outside of myself. Like, I do it for me, but as a dad, I'm doing it for him. If I don't show up, he loses. And if you're not a parent, then there's like the idea of community or family. When you have that sense of obligation to those around you, it makes chasing something a little bit easier because it's not just this selfish indulgence and you just trying to be great because that's who you are. Isolating yourself sounds great, but what I've learned over time is that you're never as good as you think you are. And at a certain point, you're going to need some help. And if you spent a bunch of time isolating yourself, when that moment finally hits, you're going to wish you had a few more friends. Whenever I think about locking in, I think about my hair. See, I never committed to lock it, but there's still maintenance. It's like the consequence of not committing. You still end up doing the work. You just don't have the progress to show for it. Have you guys heard that quote that says something like 67% of people who have active gym memberships don't use them? Like, essentially, the people who don't go to the gym supplement the membership cost for the people that do. Now, honestly, I don't even know if this number is true because I've actually heard Alex Hormozy say something like 92%. And then I tried to verify this. It seems like it's based on something, right? And that's the thing, like, brick and mortar businesses, they operate off of real life data. You know, they don't get to just have an algorithm to manipulate people. They look at people's actual habits, and that's how they make their business decisions. And based on the trend, it's safe to say the entire industry is built off the idea that if you have a membership, there's a pretty good chance you're not going. I say all of that to say that consistency is incredibly difficult. It's so difficult, in fact, that there's entire business models built off the fact that there's a pretty good chance you're not going to be able to maintain consistency over a sustained period of time. With that said, you have to understand that locking in is not a trend. It's not something that you do seasonally. It is a lifestyle. And
yes, you can absolutely do it in short spurts and still get something from it. But the true magic is to find some form of a realistic balance that you can maintain forever. As a parent, one thing we really focus on is consistency for our child. We don't want big swings of highs and big swings of lows because that can be detrimental. It can make it feel like your child does not have a firm foundation. And I think it's the same for any of this. Personally, right now, I'm on this creator thing. I'm still committed to creating no matter what, but I do understand that I have to deal with the algorithm and the platform. And this sprinting that I'm doing right now is just a season. It's necessary in order to give the algorithm more data. If I do it for 90 days or however long I can, and then I find out that daily works and it helps me to move forward and it's, growing my channel better than ever, cool. I will hopefully in 90 days have the results and the systems in place to know what I need to do in order to maintain it. But if 90 days comes and I realize that's too much, then I'm willing to roll back. You see it with content creators constantly burning out. You see it with people on their weight loss journey with the yo-yo diets. Like, it's not great. Take this data, figure out what works for you, apply it, and just try to get a little bit better every single day. So don't look at this as the great lock-in 2025. Look at it more as the first step to your great lock-in for life. I know, but it's true. I'm gonna go ahead and I guess upload another video today. See you guys tomorrow.